So, good evening. I have never made a video this late in the day before, but it's sort of an odds and end day. First of all, I want to thank the new subscribers for subscribing. That's very nice. And I just welcome. And I hope you enjoy joining my 80s. And then I want to thank you, Jim and Renda. I know I've grown because of you, and thank you. And you know, you've taught us so much. I really appreciate your course that you're giving. The last lessons, I've taken 4 of them now. They're just fantastic. The information is really good. And I'm learning stuff on nutrition that I didn't know. You know, probably less than 10 years ago, I said if we could just get our fats right, we would be much healthier. And even as I said it, I didn't have them quite right. And it wasn't until maybe 7 years that it finally clicked in. And I think I have them right now. And fortunately, my son, my neighbor's son, he can get really good, what do I want to say, the suet that you make the beef tallow out of. He gets really good, and he renders it, and then he gives it to me. So I have that, I have coconut oil, I have olive oil, I've got good butter. Once in a while I buy ghee, but not often. And so I think I'm up to speed finally on that. So anyway, thank you, Brenda, thank you, Jim, and thank you, new subscribers, and thank you, old subscribers. Thank you for staying with me and being such an encouragement. I just really love you. And then also, the other day I talked about apples, and I showed you my little crab apples, which they are very nutritious. But I told you about an apple that they found in New Zealand, and boy, if I could find it right now. They found it in New Zealand, and I think I called it wrong on my video, and it's called Monty's Surprise. And I was looking at a chart today, and it showed 3 different apples. 2 were varieties in our country, and then one was Monty's Surprise. And it was just on the top of everything. And Marie Louise, and she lives in Tasmania, we've decided we want to get one of those trees. Well, when I went to look last night to get one, I'm going to have a hard time finding one. But I'd like to challenge, and they come dwarf, so it wouldn't take a lot of space, but it's a terrifically good apple. And they say it's really flavorful, and it's not, I mean, it'll be a good apple to eat and to cook with and to do anything you wanted with. So I'd just like to challenge you to try to find one and plant it in your yard. Monty's Surprise. Now another thing that I may have trouble with here, it may not have enough cold hours to have it fruit well. But I was even looking at a site once that said, try some of those apples. And some of them will even produce where there's not really enough cold hours in the winter. So if you find in the U.S. where to buy one, let me know and I'll keep looking, because I think we should have one. In New Zealand and Tasmania, this is the time to plant your apple, but I've got until basically next spring to find one and plant it. So I've got quite a few months to look for this and do it, and I want to do it, and I would encourage the rest of you to do it. Let me know if you decide. Okay, and then you saw the my Let's Kombucha video. If you didn't, go look at it. And my tea came today, and I thought I'd just read a little of the back that came on the tea. Legend has it that the tradition of tea originated more than 5,000 years ago in ancient China. And you've heard the story where the water was boiling. The emperor, Shang Nong, he was boiling water and a leaf fell in his boiling water, and when he drank it, he thought, oh, this is delicious and rejuvenating. And he vowed to research the infusion of the tea tree leaves and water, and thus he discovered the health benefits of drinking tea. Then by the 1600s, tea had finally made its way to European nations and the Americas, eventually becoming more popular than coffee. That's hard to believe, isn't it? At one time, chocolate was the popular drink. Okay, it was during this time that King Catherine of Bragzania or someplace introduced tea time to the Royal British Court. Okay, then we come to the mid-1800s. Tea bushes were discovered in India. Over the next couple of decades, the bushes were planted widely in India, giving birth to new source of tea imports. At the beginning of the 20th century, iced tea was created in the United States. And it doesn't say here, but in the South, remember, it's iced tea and sugar, sugar, sugar. Okay. Well, maybe that's lemon. No, it's tea. Okay. A refreshing drink on a hot day. In addition to the creation of iced tea, tea bags were developed in the United States around the same time. The invention of tea bags provided a convenient way for tea drinkers to enjoy smaller ground up blends of tea. So, with this long and rich history, it's no wonder why the most consumed beverage in the world besides water just happens to be tea. I didn't know that. Actually, I drink herb tea. Okay, white tea, you boil it at 175 and you steep for 2 or 3 minutes. And green tea, you boil at 175, steep to 2 or 3 minutes. Oolong tea, boil 175. But herbal, I don't know how to say it, Rubius, I should know how, Rooibos tea, boil 212 and steep 2 to 3 minutes. But black tea, you boil at 212. 220, is 212 boiling or 220? Anyway, you steep it 3 to 5 minutes. So that is tea. I've got my tea. Tomorrow morning, hopefully, I'll have some tea boil so I can put my sugar in it. And look at, I've got cute little bottles now to put my kombucha in. And they will fit in my refrigerator, and it will be fun. And I am going to do this. And I've got my kombucha still over there with my strawberries in it. And even though tea may be the world's, well, it said besides water, I still want my water. And I'm still thankful for a glass of cool, clear water. So have a good evening. Again, thank you. And get an apple tree, start some kombucha, and then just think you can make apple kombucha. You can drink it someday under the shade of your little crabapple tree. No, your Monty surprise, excuse me. You're getting a Monty surprise, and you're going to sit underneath there with your apple kombucha. Okay, good night.